We're working to connect a region of over 600 cultural bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Judith Camara, delivering to you the latest news in and around the ASEAN region on today's headlines. Malaysia insists it had correctly diagnosed the coronavirus in an elderly American woman from the Westerdam cruise ship, despite all passengers having been given a clean bill of health when they disembarked in Cambodia. Bats, rats, and snakes are still being sold at an Indonesian market known for its wildlife offerings, despite a government request to take them off the menu over fears of a link to COVID-19. And more than 60 cats and 40 owners participated in Vietnam's first ever National Cat Show in Hanoi. Malaysia insisted it had correctly diagnosed coronavirus in an elderly American woman from the Westerdam cruise ship, despite all passengers having been given a clean bill of health when they disembarked in Cambodia. The vessel was at sea for 2 weeks and barred from Japan, Guam, the Philippines, Taiwan, and Thailand over fears it might be carrying the virus, which originated in China and has killed more than 1,600 people. Cambodia allowed the ship to dock Thursday in Sihanoukville, administering health tests before passengers disembarked in waves for homeward-bound flights. A jubilation dimmed late Saturday as one of the passengers was stopped by authorities in Malaysia when she was detected with a fever and was later diagnosed with the virus. Now, fears are mounting that more than 2,200 passengers and crew who disembarked may have been infected. Cambodia urged Kuala Lumpur on Sunday to double-check the diagnosis, but Malaysian Deputy Prime Minister Wan Azizah Wan Ismail said the 83-year-old American woman had already been tested twice. Cambodia's decision to allow the Westerdam to berth was lauded U.S. President Trump, who called the country beautiful on Twitter, while U.S. Ambassador Patrick Murphy boarded the ship to greet its American passengers.
Now, this is a humanitarian operation. This is not a political undertaking.
We've been going around for a bit more than 10 days without disembarking, like migrants with no home to go. Yes, well, until we're back home, we will know if our nightmare is over. But for sure, Cambodia gave us a real chance to go back home.
Meanwhile, the number of people infected with the new coronavirus in China passed 70,000 on Monday, as international experts began meetings with their Chinese counterparts on how to tackle an epidemic that has caused global concern. The death toll jumped to 1,765 in mainland China after 100 more people died in Hubei province, where the virus first emerged in December before spreading across the country and overseas. The latest figures came as the head of the World Health Organization said international experts in a WHO-led joint mission had arrived in Beijing and had their first meeting with their Chinese counterparts. In a Twitter post, Tedros Adhanom said they look forward to this vitally important collaboration, contributing to global knowledge about the COVID-19 outbreak. Li Feng, the National Health Commission spokesman, said Sunday that slowing case numbers nationally showed that China was controlling the outbreak. But Tedros has warned it is impossible to predict which direction the epidemic will take. In the Philippines, the Department of Health on Sunday reported that the total number of discharged persons under investigation for possible infection of the coronavirus disease, or COVID-19, went up to 336 from 330 on Saturday. They have been allowed to go home after testing negative for the virus in 2 consecutive medical examinations. Meanwhile, data from the agency's tracker team as of 3 p.m. Sunday showed that there are still 159 PUIs, 93 in the National Capital Region, 9 in Central Luzon, 1 in Central Visayas, 16 in Calabarzon, 2 in Western Visayas, 9 in Cagayan Valley, 3 in Davao Region, 14 in Car, 4 in Northern Mindanao, 2 in Mimaropa, 2 in Ilocos Region, 1 in Bicol Region, 1 in Suxurgen, 1 in Caraga, and there is also 1 in Barm. The DOH said the total number of PUIs has reached 498, including the 3 patients who tested positive for the disease. They were the 44-year-old Chinese man who died on February 1st, the 38-year-old Chinese woman who was discharged on Saturday, and the 60-year-old Chinese woman who returned to China on January 31st. The WHO said that Egypt reported its first confirmed case of COVID-19. It is the second country in the WHO Eastern Mediterranean region to confirm a case following a reported case from the African continent. In other news, nearly 50 Rohingya Muslims have been detained at sea by Myanmar's Navy, a local official said Friday. The latest from the persecuted minority to be caught trying to flee camps in Bangladesh and Myanmar's restive Rakhine state. It was not immediately clear where the group started their boat journey, but they were likely aiming for Malaysia or Indonesia, predominantly Muslim countries with large Rohingya diasporas. Village Administrator Myent Thin told AFP by phone the Navy had picked up 48 Rohingya men, women, and children, as well as 5 traffickers at sea on Wednesday evening. An AFP reporter saw the group arrive Friday morning at Pathan Township Police Station. Some 740,000 Rohingya fled Myanmar's Rakhine to Bangladesh to escape a brutal military crackdown in 2017 and now languish in sprawling refugee camps. Hundreds of thousands more remain in Rakhine, living under tight restrictions with little access to health care, education, or livelihoods and conditions Amnesty International brands as apartheid. The group detained at sea this week is just the latest in a series of arrests in recent months as seasonal calmer waters tempt more Rohingya to put their lives in the hands of traffickers.
Landmarks, Linggo, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi.
Welcome back. Bats, rats, and snakes are still being sold at Indonesian market known for its wildlife offerings, despite a government request to take them off the menu over fears of a link to the deadly coronavirus. Vendors at the Tomohon Extreme Meat Market on Sulawesi Island say business is booming and curious tourists keep arriving to check out exotic fare that enrages animal rights activists. But scientists are debating how the new virus which has killed 1,765 in mainland China and spread to dozens of countries around the world, was transmitted to humans. A wildlife market in Wuhan, the epicenter of the virus, is thought to be ground zero, and there is suspicion it could have originated in bats. The possible link wasn't on many radar screens at the Indonesian market, however. Its grubby stalls feature a dizzying array of animals, including giant snakes, rats impaled on sticks, and charred dogs with their hair seared off by blowtorches. A gory scene described by some critics as like walking through hell. Indonesia has not yet reported a confirmed case of the virus.
Artinya pesta kawin, pesta hari jadi, di pesta-pesta sukacita. Dan apabila ada kedua makanan itu, orang yang datang langsung cari itu ikan itu, paniki dan ular. Jadi semacam makanan idola.
Kalau sebelumnya dia sampai 30-40 kilo, kalau sekarang ya 15 kilo per hari.
Tetap jualan. Nggak takut dengan virus corona karena sesuai kita punya cara masak sendiri. Kita punya cara cara membersihkan ikan itu bagaimana.
Meanwhile, a fear of the coronavirus and travel restrictions on Chinese tourists have had a deep impact in Pattaya, one of Thailand's top tourist towns during peak season. Watch this.
Aja อาจจะต้องกลับบ้านชั่วคราวจนกว่าจะมีแขกนะคะแล้วก็อาจจะลงมาใหม่แต่ว่ายังไม่รู้นะคะว่าจะเป็นยังไง
For my business, so we not many people come to the business because the virus corona is expanding.
Popular tourist attractions in the town of Sihanoukville are far quieter than usual as Cambodia faces losses from a collapse in Chinese tourism since the outbreak of the deadly coronavirus.
I know the tourism is down, yes. But in the near future, I think Chinese tourism of the world, tourism will come back soon. All Chinese people just stay at home, afraid to go out. To go out for business, go out for tourism, so no, it's no season.
Cambodia, which has one confirmed case of the virus, is the recipient of billions of dollars in soft loans, infrastructure, and investment from China. The influx of Chinese tourists has been a major catalyst in the growth of the Cambodian tourism sector, particularly in the hospitality sector, where hoteliers have adjusted their offerings to suit the needs of this new tourist demographic for the past half-decade. Hoteliers must now make concessions as requests for cancellations and refunds come in. They can expect slumps in bookings for the first half of the 2020 because of Chinese tourists being banned from leaving China and other international tourists' fears of catching the virus.
are living during the most extraordinary time in human history.
All transport will go fully electric.
Es wird eine völlig neue Mobilität geben, meine Damen und Herren.
Rev, the new auto show on DW. Getting you into gear on cutting-edge developments.
Wasserstofferzeugung braucht Energie.
We focus on green technology.
Das Auto ist im Betrieb absolut emissionsfrei.
And also feature head-to-heads. And the latest launches.
Das Fahrgefühl war gut, er lässt sich sehr gut fahren, er liegt sehr gut auf der Straße.
And mobility stories from around the world.
Mercedes depuis 2005.
Welcome back. An Australian television personality has thrown his hat in the ring to help capture a giant Indonesian crocodile and remove a motorcycle tire stuck around its neck. Matt Wright, host of National Geographic's Monster Croc Wrangler show, was on the island of Sulawesi Thursday with a team using traps baited with duck, a drone, and even a harpoon in a bid to reel in the reptile. Watch this.
Siapa namanya?
Okay, we'll see you later. What have you done?
Nothing yet.
Huh?
Nothing.
Di Muara Jawa, kalau di Muara Jawa itu langsung turun kawannya. Habis itu banyak langsung ditarik sama buaya.
Tim dari Australia ini berhasil dengan baik karena bagaimanapun ya kita melihat buaya ini menderita lah begitu. Jadi kita berharap upaya ini mengakhiri penderitaan buaya berkalung.
Meanwhile, more than 60 cats and 40 owners participated in Vietnam's first ever national cat show in Hanoi on Sunday. Different breeds of cats, ranging from Persians to British Shorthairs, and the massive Maine Coons were gathered in the inaugural show organized by the World Cat Federation. During the event, judges gently inspected the cat's fur, poked their tails, and interacted with the felines to observe not only their beauty, but also how their owners care for them. There were different awards, including top 10 kittens and adult cats, as well as a $430 prize for the best cat in the show. Vietnam Cat Show went ahead amid concerns of COVID-19 outbreak, which has led to the suspension of all public festivals in the countries, and many participants donned face masks at the event. But that didn't stop them from enjoying their day.
Việt Nam là một nước mà ngày càng có những bé mèo rất là chất lượng, được chăm sóc rất là cẩn thận. Thì là đây là cái sân chơi để mà cho các chủ của các bé mèo đó thể hiện cái sự yêu thích về các giống mèo này, cái cách họ yêu thương chăm sóc con mèo đó của mình.
Tức là em sẽ chuẩn bị đưa bạn đi từ hôm thứ 6 là để chuẩn bị đi tắm spa rồi mọi người làm lại lông cho, và hôm nay đi thi rồi ạ.
Mình rất hy vọng là trong tương lai có nhiều cuộc thi như thế này, bởi vì thực ra là tất cả những người đến đây để thi ấy thì nhiều khi cũng không phải là đến để được nhận giải đâu, và thứ nhất là được thỏa mãn là mình được ngắm rất là nhiều mèo đẹp, thứ hai nữa là để được nghe ban giám khảo người ta nhận xét và người ta nói những cái điểm mạnh và những cái điểm chưa mạnh của những cái con mèo, tất cả những mèo.
Hình như là bé đang muốn đi tìm tình yêu hay sao đấy ạ? Lông thì từ gốc đến ngọn đều rất là đẹp.
900 đấy. 2 cái 1.800.000 đấy.
Rồi ạ, bé mèo đã xong rồi. 2 cái này 1.800.000 á.
And that is the latest news in the Southeast Asian nations. Stay updated about the ASEAN region. I'm Judith Yamera, and I'm on with 25.